You're in the 1970s. The radio is crackling, and suddenly a song comes on that everyone knows by heart. These were not just songs. They were moments frozen in time. Today, we're bringing back 15 unforgettable hits that ruled Billboard and became the heartbeat of an entire generation.
Tonight's the night.
Rod Stewart's Tonight's the Night, Gonna Be Alright, wasn't just a love ballad. It was a cultural event. Released in 1976, it stayed at number 1 for 8 long weeks.
Let me pour ya a good long drink.
Teenagers played it at dances, couples made it their special song, and parents hummed it in the kitchen. Billboard ranked it as one of the most powerful songs of the decade because it connected across ages. But while Stewart whispered about romance, another band made the world jump to its feet.
Spread your wings and let me come inside. Come, say she, freak out.
Chic's Lil Freak burst onto the scene in 1978. Imagine stepping into a disco, flashing lights, a glittering mirror ball, and this song commanding the floor.
Allow us, we'll show you the way. Oh, freak out.
Freak Out wasn't just a lyric. It was an invitation to joy. It climbed straight to number 1 and became the best-selling single in Atlantic Records history. Chic turned the disco craze into a movement that even those who claimed to hate disco couldn't ignore. Yet the kings of the era were just around the corner.
How deep is your love? Is your love how deep?
The Bee Gees' How Deep Is Your Love wasn't simply a love song. It was an anthem of tenderness. In 1977, during the rise of Saturday Night Fever, this track climbed the charts and touched millions.
Your eyes in the morning sun, I feel you touch.
Weddings, late-night radio, and even quiet moments at home. It was everywhere. Billboard ranked it among the greatest of the decade because its melody and lyrics carried universal emotion. And while the brothers were shining, their younger sibling was about to make his mark.
I just wanna be your everything.
Andy Gibb, with I Just Want to Be Your Everything, gave the world a new Gibb to love. At only 19, Andy's sweet yet powerful voice earned him a number 1 hit that stayed at the top for 4 weeks in 1977.
Build my world around you, darling. This love will shine.
Fans swooned. Magazines called him the face of the future, and Billboard listed it as one of the year's biggest songs. His youth and charm made him a superstar overnight. But even with new stars rising, one familiar Beatle proved his music still had power.
Asking for your love will take it. That ain't a silly love song.
Paul McCartney with Wings gave us silly love songs. Critics mocked him for being too sentimental, but the public disagreed. The song became Billboard's biggest hit of 1976, blasting from radios everywhere. It was simple, sweet, and exactly what people wanted during a decade of shifting culture.
It isn't so.
But while Paul kept it tender, Marvin Gaye made things bold and unforgettable.
'Cause here I go.
Let's get it.
Marvin Gaye's Let's Get It On hit number 1 in 1973, and the world stopped to listen. It was soulful, daring, and broke barriers about what love songs could sound like. Radio stations couldn't stop playing it, and couples claimed it as their anthem. Billboard crowned it one of the most iconic R&B songs of all time, proving Marvin's ability to blend sensuality with art. But then disco fever returned in full force.
Let's get it on. That's love, baby.
The Bee Gees' Night Fever defined 1978. Picture dance floors packed, polyester shirts unbuttoned, and glitter everywhere. This wasn't just a song, it was the soundtrack to an era. It stayed at number 1 for 8 weeks. Fueled by the Saturday Night Fever film, Billboard placed it among the biggest hits of the decade because it captured the heartbeat of disco culture. But sometimes, the songs that touched hearts came from unexpected places.
We know how to do it.
Oh, tie a yellow ribbon around the old tree.
Tony Orlando and Dawn's Tie a Yellow Ribbon Round the Old Oak Tree topped the charts in 1973, but it was more than just music. Families of soldiers hung yellow ribbons on trees, inspired by the song. It became a symbol of reunion and love.
Old tree.
especially during the Vietnam War era. Billboard named it the top single that year. It wasn't just a hit, it was a national embrace.
On the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me.
Shadow dancing, baby, you do it right.
Meanwhile, Andy Gibb was still proving his star power. Andy Gibb's Shadow Dancing ruled the airwaves in 1978. The beat was irresistible, the energy contagious. It held number 1 for 7 weeks and became Billboard's top song of the year.
People, there's only you and I. There ain't nothing coming.
Everywhere from roller rinks to family parties, Shadow Dancing was blasting. Andy had proven he wasn't living in his brother's shadows. He was a star in his own right, but his brothers weren't done yet. The Bee Gees had another anthem waiting. Stayin Alive by the Bee Gees wasn't just a song, it was the soul of 1977. Its beat became so famous that even CPR training used it decades later. It hit number 1 and instantly became a cultural symbol of strength and resilience. Billboard ranked it as one of the defining hits of the decade, and while the Bee Gees ruled, a disco queen took the throne. Donna Summer's Hot Stuff turned heads in 1979. Mixing rock guitars with disco grooves, it was daring and bold. It soared to number 1 and earned Donna a Grammy. Proving she was more than just a singer, she was a queen of the dance floor. Billboard crowned it one of the top tracks of the year. But not every hit was about disco. Some are personal, sharp, and mysterious. Carly Simon's You're So Vain shot to number 1 in 1973. Everyone wanted to know, who was she singing about? Mick Jagger even sang backup. Fueling the mystery. To this day, fans debate it, which only helped the song stay alive. Billboard called it one of the decade's greatest hits because it mixed gossip, sass, and melody into pure gold. Funk was about to shake things up next. Wild Cherries Play That Funky Music was an unexpected smash in 1976. A white rock band diving into funk, it worked. The song hit number 1.
But now it's so much better. It's so much better.
And became a crossover sensation. It broke barriers, making funk mainstream, and Billboard crowned it one of the year's top hits. And then came one of the fastest selling rock singles ever. My Sharona was raw, fast, and unforgettable. Released in 1979, it climbed to number 1 in just weeks. Its riff became one of the most recognizable in rock history.
Destiny, or is it just a game in my mind, Sharona?
And Billboard crowned it the year's top hit. Teenagers felt like it belonged to them. There was passion and energy bottled into sound. But the decade closed with a timeless ballad.
Of the way we were.
Barbra Streisand's The Way We Were was pure emotion. Released in 1974, it went straight to number 1. Couples claimed it as their song, and movies used it to capture heartbreak.
It was all so simple then.
Billboard ranked it as one of the top ballads of the decade, and it still brings tears today. These 15 songs were not just Billboard hits. They were the soundtrack of life in the 70s. They played at weddings and discos, at protests, and in living rooms. For those who grew up in that decade, each track carries a memory, a moment, and a story that never fades.